Hey y'all, this is Darryl. I hope everybody's doing all right. Man, I know it's been a long time since I've posted anything to YouTube, and most of my videos are like before and after. Okay, here's what it is when we get it, and here's after we've made it or rebuilt it or done the repair or whatever. I'd really love to do a video of me running the lathe and letting y'all watch me, do some turning and boring and threading and stuff like that on the lathe. So I don't know if this video is going to come to fruition or not. I'm just a dude with an iPhone, man. I'm by myself, but I've got a piece of 3/4 inch brass bar stock right here that I'm going to attempt to let you see me make one of these. This is a blueprint for a R&M Robbins Myers early lollipop oiler, and those things are a little different than some of the later ones here. So I'm going to see. I don't know if this thing is going to work out or not, that I actually get to post it, but we'll see what happens here. So y'all stay tuned, all right? Okay, guys, we're back here. I just wanted to show you what I was alluding to just earlier there. Is it's really difficult. It really takes both hands to try to run a lathe, and it's hard to run a lathe and hold a camera with one hand and try to run a lathe with another. But I just want to show you what it is that we're making here. Now this oiler here came off of a 1904 GE fan. This is not the exact same oiler as what we're going to be making. It is similar, and I just wanted to show you this to show you how it is two pieces. And hold on a minute. Let me get this thing apart for you. Okay. All right, that's what I was talking about. It's hard to do this with just one hand. So this is two pieces. It's a two-piece oiler. So what we're going to make, we're going to end up making a cup, and the cup has I don't know if you can see it, but there's some knurling down around the bottom down here, and the cup has threads down in it, and it's just a pretty simple, basically just a little brass cup. This piece here is a little more complicated, a little more detail in it. And the one that we're going to make is very similar. It's a little bit different, but this is the top section of the oiler, and this is where oil will run out of the oil return that's on the front of the motor, and the excess oil that comes out of the bearing runs down into this little trough right here. And down in the trough, I think you can see right there at the top at 12 o'clock position, there's a little hole right there. So a little hole, and the hole lets the oil run back down into the cup down here. So what we're making today, let me cut this, and I'm going to have to splice this together. I'll be right back. Okay, so what we've got here, we've got our piece of brass in the lathe, and you can see I've already started doing some turning on it here. See if I can zoom in a little bit. This section right here is going to be the part that's going to have the knurl on it. This is just going to be a knurled section, and this diameter right here, I've got this turned down. This is going to be the threaded portion here. So I told you this one was going to be a little bit different, but it's basically very, very similar. So we're going to have to thread this section right here. And if you'll notice, there's some what we call a thread relief right here, because it's very difficult to thread, especially a fine thread up this close right up next to that shoulder right there. So what we do is we put a little thread relief in there. So the threads are just going to be on this diameter right here. And this will end up getting turned on down to a very smaller diameter, but I don't want to take too much meat off of right here just yet, because I want it the rigidity. I want it to be able to have a lot of strength while I'm working on this end right here. So I'm not going to take this down too small. I just took it down far enough. I've got some relief back here so I can put this knurl on here. Okay, be right back. All right, guys, I tried it. I just couldn't do it with one hand, so I went ahead and put the knurl on there. You can see the knurl and the threads. I went ahead and threaded it. This is the threading tool right here. You see it's got a 60-degree angle insert in there, and so we got these threads in here, and I've already drilled my center drill hole, which is one of these one of these tools right here. That's a center drill. Come on. So I've got the center drilled, and I'm fixing to drill my hole through there with this. And then we're going to put this feature in here where this, all this section right here, we're going to do that with this tool right here. And so that's going to go in there and cut all that material out of there. So let me get that far and I'll be right back. Okay guys, here you can see that we've got this diameter turned down pretty much what it needs to be, the finished size. And I've got a new tool in the tool post here, and if you can see this angle down in here, we're going to cut where this surface is square. We're going to cut an angle down on the top, down into this little piece right here. And that's for that oil to be able to go down in, and we're going to have to drill a hole like on that other piece. But if you see down in here, you see the angle on this tool right here. So we're going to cut it. We're going to start cutting into it, and I'll cut a little bit and show you, and then I'll have to cut the camera again. So we're just going to go in a little bit and start cutting right here. And then blow these chips out of the way. Okay, see how we're starting to cut that angle up in there? That piece right there is going to be angled so that oil will run down through and down through that hole so it'll go back down into the cup again. Okay guys, so here's our part here now. Last time you seen it, it was still attached to the other end of the bar, so I just cut it off right here at the proper length. So what we need to do now is we need to turn it around so we can work on this end of it. I need to put some threads on this end because this is the end that screws into the bearing. So we're going to have to turn it around and hold it from this end now in the lathe. And in order to do that without boogering up these threads right here, I'll show you a little trick. This is a little piece that I made right here. It's just a piece of brass, kind of like what you saw. And I have drilled and tapped and threaded the inside of it so that it'll fit these threads right here. And I've gone back and cut little slits right here so that I've got 3 tabs, I guess maybe you'd call them. But see, this is a 3-jaw chuck on my lathe, and I want to be able to press with the 3 jaws on my lathe so I can squeeze this right here. So I'm going to screw this onto this piece. I probably can't do it with one hand, but this is the way I'm going to chuck this up in the lathe to be able to hold it by this end so I can work on this small end of it. There we go, right there. All right, so now see I got this threaded in there. Now I can put this in the 3-jaw chuck lathe, and I can clamp on it right here, right behind this knurl. I can clamp on it and hold that tight, so I can put the threads on this end without messing up those threads right there. All right, so stand by. Okay guys, this video is starting to get a little bit long, so I went ahead and put the threads on this end, and we've got the hole drilled all the way through there, and I went ahead and put the oil return hole back in there too. I don't know if the camera picked this up or not, but if you'll see this surface down in here, let me get something I can point with. This let's see, this surface down in here, you'll see it's on an angle right there. I don't know if I can get it to show. You see how that's dished out in there? So what that does is that catches that oil and lets that oil run down through that hole right there, and then it comes out on this side, and it lets the oil go back down into the cup. So this piece is finished. This is just the upper side piece of the oiler. So now I've got to make the cup. So stand by. Okay, so here we've just put the knurl on here, and I've got the threads in there already, and I'm just about ready to part it off here, cut it off. We want to make sure that the threads everything's going to fit. So we get this lined up and we screw this on there, and there's our oiler. We just got to cut it off now and do a little work to this back end back here. All right. Okay, so here's the completed oiler, and I've got the spring wound. I wind these springs by hand. I use this spring steel here. This particular wire is 25 thousandths diameter, but I've got different size wires for different springs. But this is what I use to wind this spring. And let's see, let me show you what it looks like. All right, that's what the top end of the spring looks like. And I'll go ahead and put the wick in there and prime the wick. But now, if someone wanted one of these oilers made, and I send you an oiler, I'll send it with the wick and the spring, and I'll prime the wick with oil, but I do not fill the cups. I don't fill the cups up with oil because of shipping. The oil will get all over the place. So if you get an oiler from me, the only thing you'll have to do is unscrew it, fill the cup half full, and by the time you put this in there, this compresses down in there. It makes the oil level rise in the cup, and it'll be a full cup by the time you get this all screwed together. I didn't show you this on the bottom. It's got this little recessed feature that some cups have. Not all of them, but this one did. And so that's it. There we go. Okay, guys, there we go. This is the completed oiler, and thank y'all for watching. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I know this has been a little bit different than what I normally do, but I wanted to show something with a little more detail so you can kind of see the process of what it takes to make one of these things. All right, y'all take care. We appreciate y'all.